Yeah, so I am just repeating my second question. What are the some effective strategy for parents and caregivers to instill confidence and resilience in young girls, helping them to resist societal pressures and expectations based on gender? So this was the point we are discussing. So we can start from here.
Sure, sure. So am I audible now? Okay. So as I was emphasizing on what kind of active, it's like a small activity that I did on social media, and I took opinions of my peer groups and my contacts, and they responded me with a lot of stereotypes that they have commonly heard for
Mm-hmm.
women, right? So I think these are the stereotypes which create pressure, or which creates kind of stressful environment for the women. And it is right from the age when they don't even know, like they're very young, they're very small, they're children, they're kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't even understand why we are being told not to go out late at night, why we are being told not to talk to people whom we don't know, or like we don't know anything about the social background,
Yeah,
which the women crisis which are going on, and the crimes which are going on, especially oriented to women, right?
yeah,
So they don't know about that. So instead of actually educating them, what we are doing as parents or as peers, as mentors, is that we are rules, and they are not robots. First of all,
yeah,
we need to understand, we
yeah.
are giving them some set of rules and regulations
Mm-hmm.
that you should do this and you should not do this.
Yeah,
Like, instead of teaching them that why you should not do this, why you should do you know why you should do only households, why you should do only caretaking jobs, right? No, they will understand and accept only when there is some sort of scientific background to it, or let's say there's some sort of logical background to it. I wouldn't even say science.
it's okay. Just continue. Let's see.
Okay. So the point where I left actually was that instead of putting them into any kind of rules and regulations or any kind of do's and don'ts, if we logically back it up with some kind of values or subcultures, like the major challenge I get while teaching leadership or while teaching any kind of organization behavior subjects is
Mm.
that to distinguish values and to distinguish the superstitions, or
Right.
to distinguish cultural atrocities or any kind of problems that are there in the society, and the superstitions that are there in the society, right? So any kind of crisis management problems, if I have to teach, I get the same problem. Like, I have to teach them values first, I have to teach them culture first, I have to give them a base, I have to give them a logic behind everything, and then I can tell them that what we should do and what we should not do. I think that is the major challenge which even the parents and even the mentors have, right? And this is where somehow the do's and don'ts which we tell them without any kind of reasons or without any kind of logics behind it, that is making their confidence unstable, or let's say that is making them think what wrong exactly I have done,
Yeah,
why these rules are only for me,
yeah,
right? Or why not for my brother? Why
yeah.
not for my male friends? Why only me? They don't know the social background behind it. They don't know the crimes that are going on behind it, right? We don't even educate them about those crimes, because even listening to all the, sorry to say, but listening to all the rape cases, or listening to all the the fierce crimes which are going on with women, even we don't feel like, you know reading those news, or even we don't feel like responding to those news, right? They're so bad and they are so inhumane, I can say, that even we as humans, we think that no, as an adult, even we cannot accept. So how
Right.
do these small girls, or how do these teen girls, how will they understand? They will just thinking, yeah, mama, it's not that it happens with everybody. Why are you telling me this? Right? Or they would say, okay, not necessarily it would happen with me, right? But explaining them the crisis and explaining them the logic at the same time is
Right.
the role of the parents at the very young age. We
Yes.
we have put limitations to ourselves not to talk about it. No, she will have a bad influence. No, we should not talk this in front of her. It will create some kind of impact on her psychology as a girl.
Yeah.
She might feel like getting more and more deeper into things which she should not to, actually. But that's the actual place where we need to moderate them, right? And plus, social media is there.
Yeah.
Do we think that they are not aware of what is going on in the
Right.
society?
Right.
Whom are we fooling? We are fooling ourselves, or we are fooling them? Whom are we
Yeah.
fooling?
Yeah.
Right? So I think parents need to understand that you should not keep that stereotype or that mentality that nee, nee, my girl is very innocent, she does not know anything. And she knows everything. She knows everything right from the school age,
Yeah.
because her peer knows everything.
Yeah. Right.
And her peer is teaching you. If you will not teach, her peer will teach.
Yes.
And they will teach in a very uh, bad manner, or in a very negative manner, right?
Yeah.
अरे कि भाई ऐसा ऐसा होता है, ठीक है, your hormones are taking a toll, this will happen to you, it's fine, it's okay, it happens to everybody, right?
Yeah.
Motivate her that what you are going through is a very normal thing. What
Yeah.
wishes you are having as a teen is a very normal thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of saying ki, what like ill-cultured girl, this is
Mm-hmm.
not something that a good uh, woman or a good cultured girl will do. No, then she will definitely feel separated from your culture and from your family.
Yeah.
This is not something a girl from a wise family. No, is there a wealthier family or a wise family and a family which is not that wealthy? They are still the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if she's a beggar or she's a princess. She's still a girl,
Yeah.
and she will go through all those uh, same stages that a girl should. So
Yeah.
I think parents and peers should educate them and motivate them, and they should be open minded to talk about these topics, to talk about some critical topics with their girls. And right after they are 12 years old or 13 years old, I think we should start educating them a bit, not more. Obviously, bombarding them will definitely have an issue again. The
Yeah.
negative sides are also there,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But
Right.
at least we can give them an idea. Okay, no, beta, this does not happen this way, right? It's fine. It's okay. So that is the main role of parents and peers into motivating girls, I
Yes.
think.
So we have discussed about the educational institutions, and we have discussed about the strategy for the parents and caregivers. From this, we are moving to the media. In what way can media literacy programs be utilized to help young girls critically analyze and deconstruct gender stereotypes portrayed in popular media and culture?
I think, Hariji, we all must have known that there are these um, menstruation programs, menstruation literacy programs, which are uh, in many of the educational institutions. Okay. I myself have attended many, and I myself, all the programs. One common thing that I encounter is that the literacy of menstruation and the hygiene and everything, but you do
Yeah.
not want to talk about the basic problems that you face every day. What happens or how you should behave if you actually get a stain or if you actually get an embarrassment in the public, right?
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about the crisis situation. Everybody talks about what you should do and the precautions and the measures, right? And how you should avoid any kind of physical or
Mhm.
mental stress during these stages. I think
Mhm.
the media literacy programs are similar, somewhat similar to these programs, these menstruation
Yeah.
programs.
Yeah.
Why? Because I think even they need to be, um, you know, the literacy need to be introduced to them at a very young age.
Mhm.
Again, this secondary or this age between 13 to 15 or 13 to 16,
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
all of the girls are using social media on a very huge number.
Right.
But I remember your generation never even had these kind of concepts like social media
Nothing,
when you were
nothing,
15.
nothing like that. All these came after 2000.
Absolutely. So I think the generation analysis of the boomers and the zoomers is the
Mm.
difference between the Gen X and the Gen Zs.
Yeah.
So when these Gen Zs we talk about, they have this media literacy to take seriously. They need to take
Mm.
this very seriously. Why? Because you are adults now.
Yeah.
The boomers or the millennials, you are knowledgeable about how to use any kind of media or how to use any kind of platform. But the Zoomers are still not. I think they are still not LinkedIn basic, right?
Mhm.
If given a chance to make reels on LinkedIn, absolutely it is going to be a havoc. Because what they are influenced with is making reels. Why? Because they are getting good views on it. But
Yeah.
they don't understand that reels can be of different types as well, or reels can be of different subjects as well, right? Reels can be educational reels also. They
Right.
can be social awareness reels also,
Right.
right? But they have not been taught about it.
Yeah.
So these literacy programs we can take at an educational institute level, and I think we are doing that. If you actually go through the syllabus of the NEP, which we are going to inculcate in our, you know, in our sector,
Which
right
one?
now the majority, yes, the majority of researches are being done on this NEP thing, and the
Oh,
base of NEP is IKS, the Indian Knowledge System, right?
right.
Or the BKS, the Bharatiya Knowledge System,
Yeah.
right? We are teaching them basic cultures, but along with the technological advancements that we are having right now. So I think media can also be taught in that way. The use of media can also be taught in that way, and they can be in line with all the extracurriculum activities that you're doing. Just a small example on this. Any institution, if you see right now, they have this reel making competition. Okay. A few days a few days
Yeah.
back, I was a judge for one competition.
Mhm.
Okay. And the criteria for the video, the acting that he did or she did, or
Mhm.
any kind of dance or any kind of skills that they portrayed on that reel, instead of setting these criteria, if ever even you want to competition on reel making, why don't you keep the basic content as the criteria? Why
Yeah.
don't you give marks to the category of reel? If it
Right.
is just a fun making reel,
Mm.
then how many marks it should be given? If it
Mm.
is social awareness, or some reel which is giving some kind of message, a social message,
Yeah.
or a general knowledge message, then what kind of marks it should have, right? First of all, I don't understand this logic of keeping a reel making competition. I think in an education institute or in the management institute, in any kind of B school, I
Hmm.
think what competition should be, the debate competition should be focused, okay?
Yeah.
Or let's say if ever you want to keep something on broadcasting on video making,
Hmm.
ask them to make short stories,
Yeah.
ask them to make podcast, and
Yeah.
keep competitions on that. And again, the content should be moderated,
Yeah. Right.
and the criteria should be based on the content, the basic content, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then again, the rest of the things come on the source of the content, where you have chipped it from, where you have taken it from, right? What is the reliability of the source? This all can be evaluated later. But
Yeah.
I think this media literacy starts right from the school days itself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it is going on a very big level. We don't even know that, we don't even have an idea about it.
Hmm.
But it is going on at a very big level.
Because I also think this media literacy, na, because the parents also have so many hesitation or reservation actually in talking to the young girls, and the young girls generally don't listen to because they have their own mindset. So the media literacy program can help a lot in making them aware what is your position, what are the dangers for you, and how you should behave and how you should live. So all these things, the media can play a very good role actually, because they'll be watching this in anywhere actually, on mobile, school or anywhere. So I think
Absolutely.
that can
Absolutely.
play a very impactful role. That's what I think. So thank you, ma'am. With this, I am moving to my fourth question. That's the last question I have on this
True.
topic. So that is
True.
a bit related to my third topic. What role
Sure.
can mentorship and positive female role models play in empowering young girls to challenge patriarchal norms and pursue their passions and aspirations without limitations?
When I first read this question, or when I first encountered this topic, the fourth subpart that we are having, right? The first name that came to my mind was of many politicians and many famous women faces,
Yeah.
right? But, and not just not just limiting to the current faces, but from the age of Indira Gandhi, I think we can definitely take the example of Smriti Irani ji, because
Yeah.
she has been on a very dynamic role on the media,
Yeah.
right? And she has a very different kind of personality that she has, elaborated on the media. So right from that Saas Bahu to that serial, to having actually a very good speech in the parliament, right?
Yeah.
To the member of council role. I
Yeah.
think she has done a very, very good job. And I think she has not just her, but just look at these Bollywood actresses, right? Sometimes they have a very significant impact, and sometimes they have a very negative impact as women on a woman of India, right? But talking about politicians, or talking about female famous personalities which we come through, I think Smriti Irani is one of the ideal persons that which come to my mind.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are many. There
Mhm.
are
Yeah.
many.
Yeah.
We even have case studies on Sudha Murthy ma'am, and they
Yeah.
actually teach their case studies to students also,
Mhm.
right? But they have also played a big role on actually educating the women and actually educating the young girls.
Mhm.
Um, one incident I will just share, like an example. When I was working with Taj a few days back, or a few years back, let's say, um, Taj has a very it is a brand by Tata's,
Mm-hmm.
uh, just for information, and they have a very different subculture or a set of sub values that they even follow in employment, right?
Right.
I was interviewing for the learning and development manager post, and the very first question that that manager asked me was, "What are your values or what are your perceptions towards any of female political member of India?" Right? First of all, who is your idol in politics? And she should be, of course, a female personality. And why she is your idol, or let's say, what do you actually have an outcome out of it? So it was actually tricky for me, because when you are answering such questions in an interview,
Mm-hmm.
your whole job is at a risk.
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
whole opportunity is at a risk. You
yeah,
don't know that the person who is sitting in front of you, what kind of community he is supporting, or what kind of thought process he or she is supporting, but you still have to give a very like, you have to keep your own stand as well. So even there, I gave an example of Smith ma'am, and I think we all should, or the young girls should, look after developing themselves like her or something like her, even better than her, when we are talking about the women empowerment thing. She is the best role model we can think of for women. Absolutely. In politics specifically, there are
mm.
many out of politics also.
Okay. So, ma'am, that was the last question I had on this topic. So, next we'll be moving to our next topic. Whenever you are free, then we'll discuss the next one. So, with this, I am coming
Sure.
close to this session. Say anything more would you like to add?
Um, I think there was one topic that I had brainstormed on. So before, like, when I actually started with the session, I started on the topic of woman as an empath, right? And what structure or how we are actually made. I would also like to add on something on is actually um, India itself a patriarchal country? It is right now. We can say yes, but was actually India a? I think if we go to any of the, if you even see my background,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So I have an influence of all our epics, or I would not even say epics. They are the actual history that we have, and it is our culture, it is our history, and it is the fact that we stand on, that we had many, many, many empowered women in ancient India.
Yeah,
And not just talking about these women from Mahabharata, like we have, you can see there is Kunti, there is also Gandhari, and there's also
yeah.
Draupadi behind me, right?
Mhm.
So first of all, may I have their,
But
then
I
may I
think
have the strength like them.
in ancient time they had a lot of any very high position in society, but the things change in medieval time. I think.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Ki even in the ancient time, if we see, India was not actually very much patriarchal, because any we say na, in Marathi we have that saying that
Mm.
कुठलीही स्त्री
Mm.
माणसाला घडवू पण शकते आणि बिघडवू पण शकते, right?
Mhm.
And we have also heard of that phrase that um, behind every successful man there is a woman. So
Yeah.
it is a very common phrase that we have heard about.
Yeah.
But it is actually a fact because in ancient India, all the supreme men, all the amazing men who have embarked on history, we know them by their mother's name.
Right.
We know them as Kaunteya, we know them as Radheya, we
Yeah.
know them as Yashodanandan, we know them as, we know them by their mother's name. So I think they had a very supreme place, and this all changed in the medieval era.
Yeah.
And I think what the IKS or the Indian knowledge system is doing is we are getting back to that kind of cultural development in the upcoming
Yeah.
generations.
Yeah. We are
So,
trying to
yes, we
rediscover.
are focusing on them. And as an educator, absolutely, absolutely. I think this can be a very good platform, the ancient cultures or the ancient Indian
Yeah.
society to
Yeah.
study. And we can definitely empower our girls by giving these examples. Thank you. That's all I had for today.
Uh, Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. This was really very enlightening. So, with these questions, I am coming to end this session. Thank you for joining us on this empowering journey. If you found today's episode insightful and inspiring, don't forget to hit subscribe and share it with your friends, family, and community. Together, we can amplify the voices of young girls everywhere and create a world of limitless possibilities. Until next time, keep challenging stereotypes, advocating for equality, and empowering the next generation of change makers. Together, we rise. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank
So
you.
soon we'll be
Thank you, sir.
meeting again. Thank you. Goodbye.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you so much.